Hi, welcome or welcome back. My name is Yu Wing. You can call me Yu Win or Win, and I'm happy that we could connect wherever and whenever you are joining me in this video. So, I like to begin with a practice to share for your consideration. And today's practice is actually something that I started doing today. I was listening to a Louise Hay video, which I will include in the video notes here. But in it, she essentially just encouraged the listener to bless anything. So it's this idea of like waking up, and if it's possible to bless this day, to bless the people who we will come into contact with, to bless our health, to bless our finances, to bless our relationships. And, there are similar themes around gratitude and how pivotal that is. Um, and she was also talking about, when we have challenges, and challenges can be all consuming. It can feel like it takes us off our course. And so her suggestion, her affirmation was, I bless this person with peace. That's it. So if it's something that you are hoping for to come in, whether that's better health, if it's improved relationships with loved ones, if it's something that you hope to come into your life, instead of focusing on the want, which I know I was talking about yesterday, right? Like, if I want it doesn't mean that I'm lacking it. And so her suggestion is just to bless whatever it is that you have, that you want to have, that you don't want to have, and then just see what happens from there. And so, you know, again, I can bless you as the viewer. I can bless um I can bless my livelihood. I can bless the love that I receive and give. I can bless my health. I can bless my family. I can bless the land that I'm on. I can bless the water that I'm drinking. And so many ways, so many things, and then just to allow it and see where it takes you. So, a tool for your consideration. And what I wanted to talk about today, which that was a great segue for, is the things that helped me get through today. So, yesterday I had a rough day, and I I wanted to tune into the energy of love, and I could not. I kept looking for it, and there were these blockages and situations going on, and I felt distracted, and I felt upset, and I felt irritated, and I I couldn't find my grounding, couldn't find my footing. So today, when I woke up many, many, many hours before I usually do, I listened to Louise Hay talk about blessing, and I tried to repeat it as I was driving in some traffic. And even though I was dreading this early morning commute, the energy that I got from blessing and naming my blessings was it felt it felt helpful. It felt really good. So then I arrived home, and I had the resources to be able to go back to bed and fall asleep. And as someone who has struggled with sleep for three-fourths of my life, um, being able to knock out and wake up hours later was magnificent considering how fitful my sleep was in anticipation of the early morning commute. And so that really helped me. I don't usually get restful sleep. So I was very grateful for that. I was blessed by wonderful sleep. Um, and then trying to think of where the afternoon went. I had space to myself. Um, I was able to take some time off from caregiving. And so I could be in my own energy. And that's always very rejuvenating and healing for me. And then I, oh, actually had an amazing text exchange with one of my Rise and Thrives. And essentially, for me, that is my version of a ride or die, but in the context of like helping each other to rise up and then to thrive. Um, oh my gosh, it was just such an incredible exchange of like these ideas and these things that showed up like in our dreams and like the videos that we were listening to and sharing them with one another. And oh, I just marveled at the whole thing and everything that we have gone through in order to arrive at this point. I was just floored and I was so grateful. It was so beautiful. So that was something that supported me being able to to connect, but also to connect about these things that are so important and so meaningful, but that are not common and that are difficult to describe. It was incredibly powerful. And I'm so, so proud of their gifts and the journey that they're on. Ah, just ah. I am basking in reflected glory. I'm burging psychology. You don't, if you know, you know. So that was another thing. And then, oh, so in the middle of this exchange, I had the space to do a midday meditation, 15-minute meditation, trying not to let any thoughts, trying not to let my mind wander. It's a practice that Abraham, by way of Esther Hicks, talks about, just like 15 minutes a day to like reset and like see what happens when you clear your mind. And so I was finally able to do that after a very long time. And while that was happening, obviously thoughts still happened, but I was trying not to let them attach. And then I had a few ideas and things pop up so that when I had the time after lunch, I jumped into a course that I bought last week, a grief coaching certification course. And I was starting the first module, and I just wanted to keep going, but it was starting to get late, and I wanted to stop by my local library branch to pick up a state park pass. And so I got ready, and I was so excited to learn by doing the course. And I went to the library, and even though the intention was just to pick up a state park pass, which um, my local library branch allows us to check it out for the duration that we would be able to check out a book for 3 weeks. I went to the shelves and I started looking around. It's like all of the things that they display, like new books. So I took a look and I was like, I know I have books that I still have checked out, books that I'm not done with, books that are almost due, books that I don't know when are due. But I was like, oh, this book looks interesting. So I put it in my book bag. And then I walked to one of the nonfiction shelves and I was like taking a look at everything. And then I was like, "Oh, this book is related to grief. Um, I'll just put it in my book bag." And then I was like, "Well, what's over here?" So I was like looking on the backside on a different aisle, and then I saw cookbooks, and I was like, "Well, why not?" So I have like these heavy books because the cookbooks are really heavy. I go up to the counter and I gave them my library card and I said, oh, first I asked, can you tell me what books I have checked out and when they're due? So they print me out a receipt. And I'm like, oh, these are due in a couple of days. And then I asked, how many books can we have checked out at one time? And they said 35. And I had four. So it was no big deal. So I check out the books, super excited. And then I go home. And then when I settle in, I'm like, okay, I'm going to look at the books that are due in 2 days. And there are two. One is Disrupt Everything and Win, which I want to finish. And then the second one is called I Don't Believe in Astrology by Deborah Silverman. And I was like, okay, I don't know what this is, I don't know what this is going to be like. I don't know where this is going to lead me, but I have 2 days, so let's see. I start reading and I'm like, floored. Just like, oh, psychological astrology. And I know I've mentioned like astrology here and there in different videos, but essentially it's probably my first metaphysical occult interest from a very early age. And I know in the video where I talk about some of the books that have been important in my journey, the secret language of the secret language of birthdays is on there. I remember getting that at the tender age of 14. But I had also bought a like Chinese astrology book from this temple that we would go to. And for whatever reason, it just hasn't stuck with me yet. Maybe one day, it will. Um, but I'm very excited that I decided to look at the astrology book. And I wanted to share um, a passage because I was like, oh, this is great. Okay, so in the introduction on page 8, she writes, there is an epidemic on this planet of anxiety, depression, addiction, all things that describe personality seeking comfort or some kind of relief from the gremlins. And just to clarify, I was like, what were her? She explained the gremlins, but I can't recall. Oh, the voices in your head, I call them gremlins, are saboteurs on page 4. Okay. So there's an epidemic that describes the personality seeking comfort or some kind of relief from the gremlins or voices in her head. The billion-dollar industries of therapy, biohacking, and self help can all be reduced to a single question: are you at peace with who you are? And then in the next paragraph, it goes on to say the function of this book is to give you access to the voice of compassion that knows you are okay, lovable, and a beautiful soul. Learning about yourself in this book will increase your self awareness and give you access to a kinder inner voice. Who doesn't need that? The reason people love astrology is because they get insights about themselves that are so different from what their inner critic tells them. Once the observer is turned on, you will have the musculature to activate your positive inner voice through the practice of channeling the observer. And just like that, the gremlins will have nothing on you. So, this is helping me to get through the day. I want to keep reading. I don't know how much And then I was like, oh, I haven't recorded my video. So here I am taking a pause before I return to reading. And then I do have the third book in my trilogy series, The Heart Remembers, but that's not due until the 26th. And so I'm going to wait until Wednesday to see if I can renew these books. And then if not, I will return, disrupt everything and win. And I don't believe in astrology. So that's been helpful for me today. I wonder what's supporting you or what's lighting you up, what's helping you get through another day, this moment. If you feel like sharing, I'd love to hear in the comments. If not, I understand. You are an important part of this community, and I'm so happy that you decided to spend some time here with me today. I hope you know that who you are, exactly as you are, is worthy and deserving of unconditional love. I look forward to connecting with you next time, but until then, please take good care. Okay, bye bye.